Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you how I turned this old solid wood coffee table into a newer, refinished, more modern looking coffee table. So this is my first one, don't come at me, I've never done anything like this, refinished anything, so I'm just doing this to show you my experience of my first time, just to show you it's actually not that hard and you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So this is the before, let's get to work. So as you can see here, me and my mom are sanding the table down. For the top, we were going to have a wood finish top. We wanted the wood, natural wood to show. So we should have stripped it. So that's my first tip. If you're going to have wood showing, natural wood, and you're going to stain it or whatever, then I highly recommend you use a paint and varnish stripper like Citrus Strip. However, this is my first time and I didn't think of that. So we are sanding all the way down to the wood. And that is really hard, especially if there's like a thick coating on top. It's also just time consuming and patchy. But if you're just going to paint a solid color like white, black, blue, then you don't need to sand all the way to the wood. You just need to sand enough to give it a texture that the paint or primer will hold on to. So after many minutes of sanding with this sander machine, this is how it's looking. So you can see there are some dark spots, some lighter spots, and that's how it's going to be if you're going to sand the wood down with this machine. But hey, we did our best, and this tool is very necessary if you're going to be doing this. I really recommend it. So after finishing the top, we started working on the bottom half of the coffee table. Again, there doesn't need to be perfect with the sanding. We mainly just sanded down any small dents or scuffs and then wood filled any major ones. And we also use a more detailed sander for this part. So after we finished sanding and the wood filler was dry and we sanded that down as well, then we're ready to start painting. But we have to make sure we wipe off all the dust. So I used a tack cloth. Although they are one-time use, they are pretty cheap, like $1. But if you rather use a microfiber towel, then you can do that. I was really trying to get every bit of dust out. But as my painter husband told me, it's not that important. Wipe it down once and it'll be fine, he said. But yes, once I finish wiping, the hard part is over. And now for the fun part, the painting. Which my man will mainly be doing because he's technically a pro and I don't know much. So right here, he's just teaching me how to paint and then I'm also helping after.
Okay, spreading up nice and good, even, you know.
Tell me why he got me painting little crevices that don't even show, so it don't matter if I mess up. Anyways, I didn't show you guys what paint I'm using, so I'm using Heirloom Traditions. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I suck at pronunciations, but this is the paint, and I'm using the color or shade Weather Vane. Says this is supposed to be like an all-in-one paint. We didn't use a primer, but my husband said we should have because it took 3 coats in order to get this done, and it could have just took 1 primer and 2 coats. I forgot to mention, but don't forget to tape the areas you do not want paint on. So right here, I'm just removing the tape that I had applied prior to painting so I can get started on applying my polyurethane to the top. I'm going to use the polyurethane water-based because we're indoors. And put it on the wood. I'm so scared. They said lightly brush it on. Quickly and lightly brush it on. Don't push on it because that will make bubbles and we don't want bubbles. So yeah, right here I was trying to talk myself through this process because I don't even know what I'm doing. But it's not really that hard. All you need is your polyurethane. If you're doing oil-based, make sure it's outdoors, and a sponge brush to apply, and then some gloves. My application technique wasn't the greatest. I was doing it in like half sections, but it turned out just fine. You can't even tell. Okay, so I've applied the 1 coat already of polyurethane. As you can see, it's already drying in some spots, but we will allow for 2 hours minimum to dry. So I'm gonna do some errands. I should come back and be able to start the second coat. Top coat number 2 is done. Now it just needs to dry another 3 hours or more. But look at this. You see this line? I don't know what that is. Let me know in the comments what that is, because I painted the whole thing. And it's not like I painted this way to miss a whole section here. I just came back from my soccer game. Don't come at me. Let's get this 3rd coat. So right here, before applying the 3rd coat, I'm just sanding. I recommend you sand between your coats. If you're doing 2 coats, then you sand after the 1st coat. I did 3. It's not necessary. It's just like more durability, but you only really need 2. But if you're doing 3, I recommend you sand after the 2nd coat because it just gives it a smoother finish. And then again right here, wipe to remove any dust. So our piece is basically finished. Now I'm just working on the hardware. I cleaned it very well, and then I just spray painted with some Rust-Oleum black paint that my husband had there. You can place it on a piece of cardboard, anything. I just made this meal, so I just used it instead since it was only these 2 pieces. This is probably the easiest part, but all you have to do is just move it around, make sure you get an even finish. Once this dried, I also sprayed a lacquer on top. It's just a clear lacquer.
So, I really wanted a semi-gloss or a high gloss. One that was in stock was satin, so I just took it. And it's fine. It has a little shine to it, as you see. So it's okay. Last thing we're going to do is just sand it a bit. Just a little bit. Because we didn't do that. We only did it between the second and third coat. Nice and smooth finish. And now it's super smooth. So I love it. The only thing I will say is I didn't do it. Well, me and my mom worked on this together. So we didn't sand the top properly. We should have stripped it and then did a sanding so the wood can come out more even. But I mean, I don't mind. As my first project, you live, you learn. I think it's fine. It's getting there, okay? It gives it more of a wood natural look. Anyways, it just looks like this is natural wood for sure. I don't know. Now we just have to apply the drawers and we are done.
So yeah, I just screwed in the pieces of the drawer, inserted the drawers, and look at it. I love it. I really do. Sadly, I can't keep it because I don't have the space for it, but I'm probably going to sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me. I hope I helped. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just leave it down below. I'll reply to everyone. That's all for this video. I'll see you in my next one.